now. And it's live on Facebook. See that works. Okay. All right, let's get started. Hello, everyone, live and whoever's watching this later. My name is Matt, and this is our Power to Change talk series. So this is our last one of the year, actually, the 25th one, which is pretty cool. And basically, we've just been having on environmental people in Taiwan or other countries to share their story with us and tell us what they're doing to try to make some kind of difference, whether it's education or environment or whatever, just socially trying to make some kind of difference. So yeah, it's been fun. So first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what is Power to Change, and then our awesome guest will tell us a little bit about her. Then I'll ask her some questions. Then there'll be some time for audience Q&A, and then our last little thing is a call to action. So the big idea around Power to Change is trying to encourage people to realize that we all have some part to play. The world has a lot of issues right now, but if we all can realize that we do have some kind of power, even though it doesn't always feel like that, then we can collectively, make a difference with climate change and all the other issues we face. So it's about finding your path to contributing to these problems, right? Not everyone is interested in the same thing, but if you can find your own way to be interested, then you're doing a part. You're doing something to help with all these things. So the basis for what we do is we have this thing called the minus plus model. So we're trying to kill two birds with one stone, but not actually killing birds because we love animals. So the minus part is we're trying to reduce something that is a problem in society. So for our case, Power to Change, we're trying to eliminate paper waste. And we do that by partnering with banks who encourage their customers to change from paper bills to e-bills to cut down all that paper waste. If you think about just in Taiwan, 24 million people getting 12 paper bank statements every month, every year, that really adds up to so much waste. And it's so unnecessary in our digital age. So we want people to change to e-bill to cut down on all that, But we don't see this as the only way. There's other things we can reduce, like plastic or packaging materials, all these things that just pile up and cause so many issues. So that's the plus side. But if you just do that, who are you really helping? Just the environment, the earth. The earth is going to be fine with us whether we change or not, So the other side is to help people by whatever you're doing to minus, using the money that is saved from that, because banks in Taiwan, for our example, they need to spend 13 NT for every statement they send out. That's a lot of money. It adds up. So if they can get people to change to e-bill, they're going to save a lot of money too. So with that money, we help them to help energy poor families in Taiwan to upgrade their electrical systems. And, it increases their quality of life. So it's really like a win-win-win. So the plus side is to help some social issue in your country or in another place that is also tied up in the environmental crisis, right? So that's what we're trying to do, climate justice. So we're using the power of business to make a difference. And most of our guests are also trying to do that, including today. They're using business to address some issue of sustainability and hopefully also can find a way to address some social problems. So for me and my teammates, what we do is we try to promote this idea. We go to university classrooms and recently some high school classrooms. We've done a lot of online stuff, because of COVID also. And we've been setting up like booths at we had a booth at IKEA, a music festival, just telling people about this idea, get people start to think about how they do have power to make a difference, especially with such a simple act as changing your bank statements to e-bills. And on National Taiwan Cleanup Day earlier this year, in 4 locations around Taiwan, we did a beach cleanup, which was a good opportunity to tell people about what we're doing. And yeah, we're gonna be doing that again next year as well. So stay tuned. And as I said, all year we've been doing these talk series. They're all available on YouTube and Facebook. If you're interested in any of our guests, maybe you know some of them. Some of them are kind of well known in Taiwan. So yeah, we've had 24 and we're gonna do more next year as well. So that brings me to today's guest, who is Hali. I actually met her in person a few weeks ago. We had a nice 2-hour chat. And yeah, I was blown away. She's super smart. She just graduated university and already is an entrepreneur making something near to my heart, which is beer, which she already gets points for that. And she's doing it in a really cool way. So I'm excited for people to hear about it. So I will welcome Hali now. Thank you for being here. Feel free to share your screen.
All right, can you guys see my screen now?
Yes.
Great. Let me see how this works. Oh.
Okay, yeah, all good.
So, because I was kind of not expecting to do a PPT presentation.
It's okay.
I just pulled up our EDM and hopefully to show you guys how our product looks like and, help figure things out. Okay, so my name is Holly, and as introduced, I am the co-founder of Bake Tipsy. And I guess I'm here to share with you guys what we do with our local food and how we make them sustainable. Hopefully, with a little bit introduction to this business, you'll dive deeper into uncovering the problems of our current industrial food system. And so our business is called Bake Tipsy, and if English is our second language, bake is like when you bake cookies or bread, and tipsy is when you're slightly drunk. So obviously, all our products are baked goods and alcohol beverage related. But since we're talking sustainability, right, I'm sure you all can guess, we don't just produce normal baked goods and alcohol beverages such as beer. What we do sell is sustainable baked goods and sustainable beer. And so we're actually Taiwan's first food upcycling focused social business. I mean, you're all seeing many people working to help the planet, right? They reduce the exploitation of natural resources and reduce carbon emission or waste. They do it through a lot of different materials. There are paper, there's plastic, there's leather, there's metal, there's green energy, but what we work with is food. So we take the food waste and we use it to produce new products in hopes of minimizing the waste and also extending the shelf life of these good resources. And so, there's just many people in the sustainability world. So, especially in Taiwan, there's a lot of technology related. There's energy, there's materials, but food is something that's rarely brought up here. And it's just an incredibly underrelated issue. And so, yeah, we decided to tackle it. We started this company just last year. And throughout this whole year, we launched 3 products and we started hitting shelves in department stores. And soon after we graduated from college just 3 months ago, we opened our first store in Kaohsiung. And so it's been a roller coaster. Okay. Well, I guess, just a little introduction to the current state of the problem. Taiwan is very, very cost conscious. So having really cheap food in Taiwan, it kind of puts food waste a lot behind in other issues such as pollutions and so on. But as I said, it's very, very underrated. According to the new IEA analysis, it was released recently, I believe, the global energy-related CO2 emission rose by 6% in just 2021, which is very recent. And that 6% it was 36.3 billion, I believe. billion tons, I mean. So it is a huge amount of waste. And Alice, we decided to tackle this issue and try to reduce the waste of it, reduce the carbon emission caused by it. So here is a little demonstration of our product. So here we have the
Are you there? Hi. I can't hear you.
okay. Right, sorry, we had some technical issues. I'm assuming you guys can't see me anymore. But I
Okay.
guess still continue on with this little introduction of what we're doing here. And so, yeah, as I said, our first product is what we call the sustainable beer. And it's quite self-explanatory, actually. I'm not sure how many of you drink beer and how many of you know how beer is brewed, but the basic steps are that you prepare the ingredients, and in Taiwan, it's mostly imported, unfortunately. And then you boil them, you let it cool, and you just let it ferment until it's ready to be bottled. And so we collect the surplus wasted baked goods such as pretzels and toast crusts, and we replace them with the imported barley and wheat in the beer brewing process. This slight change in the brewing process actually helps reduce the waste of these baked goods. And at the same time, it's reducing the carbon emission that beer brewing itself would otherwise consume. So, I mean, because we're cutting out the very unnecessary importing. And so because of these additionally added baked goods, we chose Saison, a pale ale, as our choice of beer. And also like the alcohol concentration, I mean, is slightly higher than the usual craft beers at 8%, which not only makes it more enjoyable personal preference, but it also extend the best served date of the beer to 3 to 5 years. And that allows our beer to lower its chance of ending up as a product of food waste as well. But obviously we couldn't just stop there because let's be honest, the beer brewing itself, it has its own food waste too. We call it spent grains. So after boiling, they will take out everything and leave only the liquid to ferment. And so the beer brewing, it leaves this huge amount of spent grains, which is rarely used because the fiber is generally too rough and it's too moist for other people to use for other uses. And this is not suitable for consumption or other use. And so with corporations, with local bakeries in southern Taiwan, we developed 2 flavors of granola made with the spent grains. We tried to retain the high fiber and nutrition value of the spent grains, and it just does not only offers our consumers with a very healthy and vegan breakfast or snack choice, but we're also able to make our production line completely zero waste through this whole production of this product. So you can see actually from our gift box combination, and it's from the left to the right. Oops. So you can see like it's quite direct of how the original surplus food is able to go from chips made from bread to beer, and then to granola, and end up with zero waste during the entire production process. And this actually comes back to our brand, Baked Tipsy. Baked being the baking of the bread, and Tipsy, which stands for the beer. So there goes a little introduction to what we do at Baked Tipsy. I hope it helps gives you an idea on like new ways to use your edible resources. And I believe we have a couple questions lined up from
Yes.
Matt.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Holly. I mean, I already know because we talked about it, but could you talk a little bit about like how you went about like figuring out that using like discarded bread could be a way to like ferment the beer? Like what did that process look like? Like how did you figure that out?
I mean, the whole thing about brewing like beer with bread is actually not a very new idea. I mean, people have been doing it in Europe. People are doing it in Singapore and Japan. It's just
Okay.
relatively new to the Taiwanese market. And I guess when we first started Baked Tipsy, we wanted to do something for the environment. And we know we had to do something food specifically because, of course, because this whole issue is just so underrated and it's actually very critical. So we wanted to make cutting food waste easy for everyone. So we want to make it accessible. We don't want to make it like you're sacrificing your lifestyle for being environmentally friendly. Yeah, so we started looking into different projects people were doing abroad, and we found this. We thought it's a good introduction because it's fun. It's beer. It kind of represents a fun time. So yeah, that's basically how it all started.
Okay, cool. And like you say, like you wanted to do something sustainable. So I'm curious, like as a young person, why did that become important to you? Like where in your journey did you realize, because you've always been interested in business, as you've told me, like being an entrepreneur, but where did sustainability become an important part of that for you and why?
I mean, I think like sustainability is, I mean, everyone cares about themselves, right? I mean, deep down, we all know we care about ourselves other than others. When we look at photos, we look at our own faces before we look at others. And that's the same for me. I care about myself. I have terrible, terrible allergies. And so also I'm seeing very extreme weather changes during just my lifetime. I'm only 22 and already I'm seeing very, very huge changes in the weather, in the climate. So obviously something is happening to the planet. If we don't do something, like it is going to affect ourselves, it's going to affect our lives. And so we're always like, we should care for the planet. We should care about the planet. But with all the numbers you're seeing, with all the researches, you can't just care about it anymore. You actually got to do something. You got to save the planet. And so, yeah, I guess this is why I am so devoted in having my career relating to sustainability
Okay.
and myself. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. So that's great. I mean, sometimes you gotta be selfish to make things better, right? So yeah, that makes sense. So is Bake Tipsy the first like sustainable venture you've had or been a part of?
I have had so many different sustainability related, whether it be projects, startups, nonprofit organizations. There's a lot of them. I mean, because I started in middle school, so I started very young. I was inspired by a lot of my seniors at school, and I was inspired by many of my teachers. So I'm very blessed to be in that environment, allowing me to have so many experience with sustainability, which is a topic I'm very devoted in. And I mean, there are so many. I guess we can talk about it another time. But what I'd like to say is that it all just started with a very small project. It all started as passion projects, and from all the reactions we get from let it be the audience, the target audience, or investors, or even just bystanders, we know that more and more people are being into sustainability, being um, drawn to it, and they're starting to realize the importance of it. So yeah, I guess that is what allowed me to venture into all these projects and startups.
Okay, cool. So on your trail to getting to Bake Tipsy with all the other startups, have you seen like an increase in your experience of people being more willing to be a part of the businesses focused on sustainability? Have you seen that? What have you noticed like with that?
Wait, I mean, I'm looking at the screen and I saw, is it like the question number 3 of,
Oh, it's okay.
oh, because, um,
Like, have you seen more people start to be interested in sustainable business than before? Like, are you seeing a trend with that increase or not really?
I mean, of course it has, but what I was thinking is that people have different motives in becoming interested in the topic of sustainability. Some are actually mission driven and some are profit driven. It's all very different. And I mean, I just came back from Japan, and so the trend is very, very different there than Taiwan. And
Okay.
I can kind of explain it a little bit
Yeah,
because,
very nice.
of course, every country is different. But in Japan, because anything that is reused, repaired, refurbished, recycled, anything relating to that, it's kind of correlated to the word cheap. it's bad. It's not as good as a quality as new ones. And it's definitely not the first choice when purchasing, and definitely not something to be proud about, even though they're saying how environmentally friendly they want to be, but their actions don't correlate. And again, I'm talking about what I see in my personal experience. It doesn't represent the whole country, but in Taiwan, what I think is very different. The awareness is high, and people are talking about it a lot. And anything with eco-friendly, circular economy,
Mhm.
brand, like there is a brand premium to it. So people are more willing to pay more for products that is sustainable, that is good for the planet, because we know it's more expensive to make. And that
Right.
gives the illusion of being sustainability aware when shopping is a rich man's privilege.
Yeah.
So having this awareness, I know like there's pros and cons. Definitely more pros and cons, but there are some things that we can do about it. And I believe it is to make it cheaper and make it easy. So it's also what we're working on at the moment too at Big Tipsy. We're trying to make the transition of being sustainable or being um, environmental aware. We're trying to make it easy. So having this whole change of a lifestyle shouldn't be that much of a challenge. It shouldn't cause you pain. It should cause you pleasure because it is something fun and it is something to enjoy.
Yeah.
So yeah, the awareness is definitely raised. More people are talking about it. It is the trend. It is the what we call the future of this generation. But what we do with it, I think, is more critical. What we do with the awareness, I mean.
Okay. So what do you think is the most important thing to do with the awareness?
Definitely, as I said, it is to um, make the actions easier and make it cheaper for people. So
Mm,
you don't have to have a lot of love for the planet to be able to do this transition. You can do it because it's cheap. You can do it because it's
right.
better. You can do it because the product's better. You can do it because the service is better. But in any way, we should like kind of like draw more people in after having this awareness. We need to have an action aligned up for them.
Yes. Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, totally agree. So kind of similar to that question, I'm a circular economy enthusiast, as I say. That's something I just so as soon as I like heard about what you guys are doing, I was in love, especially because it's beer. So with circular economy, like Taiwan is like kind of pushing it. You can like see it, like you said. Um, but I feel like the the goal and the where we are now, there's a big gap still. And I don't see too much like pushing to like make that gap smaller. So as someone who's like working directly with a circular economy based like business, what do you think is like in Taiwan specifically, what is the most important step to like close that gap between the goal and the current situation, whether it's from like government side or business side, like what do you think can we do besides raising awareness, like you said, but is there any other things you think can be done to close that gap?
Um, I mean, we can talk about it in two halves. So there's the government, and then there's us. There's business. There's
Mm,
people. You know,
right.
um, government. Obviously, we need more legislations, and we need more rules, and we need more support on this whole idea. Because I mean, just recently, Taiwan has a lot of changes in their legislations. They
Mhm,
made their goals clearer. So
right.
I believe like a couple years ago, people were just like, "Oh, um, we want to be CO2 emissions like free. They want to have this. They have this whole picture painted, but they don't have specific steps and how they want different parts of the community, the society to support this goal. And just recently, they have a lot of different goals, a lot of very specific goals and rules um, plotted out. So I believe that is a very good change. And that change is actually promoted because of the awareness and because of all the petitions signed. So that is a very good sign. And if we have very specific things we want from the government, we should just speak up and we should just tell them. And the more we talk about it, the more they know they should work on it, the more they know people care. And as for the community side, the people side, the business, um, I would believe it's the knowledge and the transparency of information. So for businesses, a lot of them don't know how to cut down on their CO2 emissions. They don't know how to raise their efficiencies in their current production line because, you know what, they've worked for 10, 20 years, 50 years, and it's been fine. So they don't see the need to change.
Mm.
But a good idea is to, for the business, it's good for them to lay everything flat and to know what you're doing as a business and to look at the details of every single step and see where you can enhance, I would say, and raise your efficiency of production. And that is going to help greatly, I believe. But for us, definitely it's the knowledge, it's the education. A lot of people actually don't have that good of a food related, I would think it's common knowledge, but for example, there was actually a really huge scandal and incident of people stopping to buy milk from the shop, from the market, because they look at the expiration date, they look at the best by date, and
Right.
they don't think it's good product. But when it first, they can't tell the difference between best by and expiration date. That
Mhm.
that is mind blowing to me.
Right.
And the second thing is that they would assume that the longer a milk lasts, the worse it is because they would assume people add chemicals to it. They add other additives. But it's not, because the longer the best by date of the, what is it? The longer the shelf life of a milk is, that means they had more technology put into it. During the, what is it called in English?
Pasteurization.
Yes, pasteurization. And so people have all these like misunderstanding of the food and beverage industries, the food they're eating, the drinks they're drinking. And so being more educated in all these things, I would assume is common sense, is definitely a huge step to better use our food and beverage.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. Before audience Q&A, you mentioned like we should express, our thoughts and feelings about all of this stuff to the government. So maybe you can't say, or I don't know, but do you have any like contact with government about like what you're doing, and like have they shown interest in what you're trying to do?
Well, for sure. I mean, I personally just came back to Taiwan 5, 6 years ago, and we've been talking to the government since 2020. So we talked to government officials and we talked to representatives, and they all showed interest. So that is good. And it is just recently looking at what we've done and what we've been through and the things we can produce. They are starting to show support, let it be on funds or let it be on exposure. Um, all the different opportunities they're very willing to give out to social businesses and people who are pushing for um, a better planet, a better community. I would say
Awesome.
to
Yeah, that's
change.
great. Yeah, that's great. Because I've interviewed some other like circular economy, like eCoco. Do you know eCoco? And what's the other one? Qingpiao, and they both like, yeah, they also said government has been like pretty supportive, like giving them some like subsidies or things like that. So that's really cool. So now, does anyone in the audience have any questions for Holly, or just want to make a comment? You could either type it or open your mic, which is better. Feel free.
Okay, since I think I'm the main audience who's been here from the start, I'll give a comment. So for the talk series, and this being the last one, I kind of joined Power to Change and noticed everything a bit late, but definitely it was the most intriguing, or like caught my interest the most also
Weird
because of
answer.
Matt. You knew I would be here, right?
Yes.
Because also I do love beer. So I find it very interesting, the whole process and how you guys thought about this, because definitely food waste since being here is one of the main things I've noticed in Taiwan. And again, you mentioning the best by date. I'm also part of my dorm committee responsible for like cleaning out the refrigerator, and when I watch it sometimes it's like so many things are being thrown away, and it's like you can't even just take it just because it's for other people. So it's just like tossed away. There are a few things like where we can and so like they would still throw it away, and I'm like, it says Best Buy, but it's been in the freezer, it's okay, you can still eat it. So I do try in my own way to do that in personal waste. But yeah, very interesting. And like I said, since being here, and I guess because they have the segregated trash, you notice it more because the food waste is separated from everything. So you just see that big pile like come up, especially like when you go for like hot pot. They don't even eat the soup or anything. It's just all a bunch of waste. So I think it's really amazing what you guys have done. My main question is, obviously I want to sample the beer, but so my concern is, does the process hinder you guys doing other styles of beer? And how do you go about testing? And do you have any like, you know, things in the works that we should be looking forward to in the business? And that's just about it.
A lot of people would be worried about like food safety, as you said, like how we test it. And, so I mean, our beer is a Belgian saison, a Belgian pale ale. It's called saison, and we chose this specific beer is actually because they are not as strict on the the ratio of the barley to what is it well, they're not as strict on the portions. So that is very critical to us, because when we collect our baked goods, we can't say, oh, we want 50 loaves of bread. We can't say we want 30 baguettes. We can't have a very specific ratio to the barley.
Yeast, maybe?
Yeast. Well, the bread would be the yeast part to the hops and malt portion of the
okay.
beer.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like we can't have like the malt to be very, very specific. And so that is why we chose saison specifically. Of course, we would love to have other flavors coming up, but so far we don't have plans of having different types of beer. Like we don't plan to have an IPA soon, unfortunately. Maybe in the future. As for the food safety, the testings, our beer is gone through SGS testings, and also we are going through ISOs. So we are very strict on the whole idea of food safety. And also because right now our channels of selling the beer is at Elite and also to Thai bookstore, they are very strict on the safety of the food, and they are very strict on the testing too. So yes, people won't have to worry of, having trouble having had our beer, because everyone is very worried. Hearing like food waste, being in the production, like who wouldn't be?
Right. Yeah, cool. Thanks for your question, Alex. Holly, we have some Weiger in here, so could you quickly explain what is the SGS for people who maybe don't know?
Oh, SGS is a certification, third-party certification and testing company. And so it tests on various variables in the whole production of your produces, and let it be food, let it be literally anything can be tested and certified to make sure that your produce is good enough for the market. It is a third-party certification company.
Right, cool, thanks. And then you had a different certification for like proving that you reduce carbon emissions, is that right?
And that is ISO, but ISO does a lot of different certifications. Then the one we're applying for specifically is CO2 emission related. And so yeah, I think it's actually something really interesting that is worth looking into, is all the different certifications and why people do it. But
right.
ISO is the one we do for carbon emissions.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's awesome. And yeah, I think that's what the more businesses who maybe aren't as worried about sustainability, they'll be happy to like take your product and sell it, because they can say, oh yeah, this thing reduces CO2, right? So yeah. Okay, does anyone else have a question? You can raise your hand if so. If not, I have more for Holly. Okay, yeah, if you have one, just raise your hand and I'll come back to you. But in the meantime, Holly, what would you say to like those food and drink businesses in Taiwan specifically, or in general. You know, I'm thinking of like tea shops, you know, that just give out millions of like single-use things. Drives me crazy. Someone, actually Irene, who's here, yesterday she sent me a reel on Instagram of, I can't remember their tag, but I don't want to promote them anyways. But it was basically just like a quick thing of them like stabbing the straw into tea things like really fast, like probably like 50 different tea shops, and I had like 700.
Yeah,
Crazy. But
that's
there
the thing. In Taiwan, like people are so, I mean, it's good that Taiwan has this tea shop, a lot of tea shops to be proud of. But Matt, if you look at the comments, because the comments are all in Chinese, they're all saying like, oh, it's so convenient. Like we have this many tea shops in Taiwan so that you can have a lot to choose from. But they're all using plastic with the plastic straws, and they're so proud of it. So yeah, kind of, yeah.
any comments like, you know, giving them?
No, I was looking for one single comment like saying about the plastic, but no.
All right, I'll do it after this class, after
Yeah.
this session. Okay, so yeah, anyways, that leads to my question, like what would you say to those businesses who don't have any sustainability focus, and like you had a chance to talk to them, what would you like say to try to encourage them to like maybe think about things in a sustainable way?
I mean, in the food and beverage industry, it's relatively easier to do the transition because the bar is relatively lower, and
Right.
also because there are already a lot of feasible products that they can use. For example, there are biodegradable plastic, there are even soluble plastic that is available in the market. But obviously it is cheap. I mean, it is more expensive for people to do the transition at this time. It's a tough time for everyone, I would say.
Right.
So this is a transition that we all must go through. And to make it easier, I believe, would be to have everyone do it together, because it's always more expensive when you do it in a small batch, when you do it at a smaller scale. But when you have all the people, I mean, look at the amount of bubble tea shops in Taiwan. There are more bubble tea shops than convenience stores, I believe. Right?
Yeah.
So if we have all these people come together and to put into effort in doing that, like that could make a huge change. That is something that I would hope to have happened. Because I mean, looking at the automobiles, like the car companies, they're coming together for battery, right? For the green energy. So they're coming together for their change, and you know, food and beverage should come together for our change as well. The packaging, the straws, the cutleries, all of that could be changed at a much cheaper price, maybe even the same as the price they have right now.
Right.
Yeah. So people coming together is definitely something I hope to happen soon.
Yeah, cool. Do you have like any plans to try like partner with, you know, I don't know, someone, I don't know, how can I ask, like partner with someone who can help reduce those kind of things that maybe you guys aren't focused on, like, you know, cutlery or something? Is that something you guys want to do, or are you just focused on your own thing right now?
I mean, of course we are actually talking to a packaging company, and we're trying to, we can't say make a new type of packaging, but we're trying to upgrade the current packaging.
Right.
And the first thing is to make the food last longer with a better way sealed of the packaging. But also we're also talking to a glass company called Chunchi. So they're really famous for reusing their, like, repurposing their glasses and
Cool.
recycling the glass. I think they are the only company doing glass recycling in Taiwan. And so we're talking to them, but I'm not sure like where our collaboration is going to lead to, so I can't give out any promises. But
Right.
I mean, it's been what, 3 months since we started doing this business, like full time, and we've been talking to a lot of people in this whole community. Yeah, there's even like environmentally friendly focused venture studios or food related focused venture capitals that we're talking to. So yes, we're quite active in the community, and we are hoping to become more active and bring more people in to start a whole conversation and to do something with the conversation.
Awesome. That's what I like to hear, for sure. That's the whole point of this is, yeah, for you guys, for people to meet each other and get this idea spark and then see where it can go. And even like Divana from Invisible Company, she like commented on something today. She's like, oh, I know them too, because she was a previous guest in our little talk series. So that's cool that you know her. I don't know if you would ever need her bags for beer, but it's good to know that the collaboration is there, I guess.
The only problem we have with Invisible Co is that they're not in Taiwan, which is
Right.
yes, because we're always trying to reduce importation, and
Right.
unfortunately, their bags are not like what we're considering right now. But I love their idea. I
Yeah.
love what they're doing. I love their product.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's cool. And at least they do ship free here. I mean, yeah, the transport emissions and stuff is not great, but yeah, if you're gonna buy like a lot of them in the future, it could be an option.
Will start to expand their international markets, and that is definitely going to benefit a lot of the other business, not just in Taiwan. I mean, elsewhere.
Right. Yes. So if you don't know about Invisible Bag, yeah, check them out. They're on our YouTube as well. So my last question I have, if anyone else, let me know. A lot of, most of our team, our Power to Change team is university students, not me anymore, I'm too old. So, and like a lot of them that join, like they're doing it because they don't really know what they want to do, which is something I think is really cool about you. You've known, it seems like, at least the direction you want to go for since middle school, which not many people can say that. That's pretty cool. So maybe this is even a hard question for you because you've just always known, but what advice would you give to someone who's like, they have maybe an idea, like a vague idea of like some kind of business, sustainable business thing they want to do, but they're just not sure of like the steps to take. What advice would you give to those people who have the idea but don't know what to do with it, I guess?
I mean, I guess we can discuss on the topic from the problems I've encountered throughout.
Okay.
Because obviously advice comes from mistakes I've made in the past.
Sure.
And the first one would be partners, to partner with the right people. And in order to find a good partner, you can't just expect people to come to you, and the first thing is you can't expect people to understand you and to want to listen to you when you're just first starting out and when you don't have any tractions. And so you have to find opportunities to get your idea out there, or even to, just tell one friend about what you want to do. Your friend will spread the news for you. Your friend will be, well, I mean, I'm sure they are willing to refer the right people to you. Because when Bake Tipsy, for example, when we first started out, it started as a group project at school, and we were discussing about the things we want to do and the missions we want to achieve. And I mean, by the word of mouth, more people start hearing about the things we want to do, and the right people, the people who are motivated to work for it, would just come naturally. So the first thing is to find the right people, and to do that, you got to get the news out there. You got to get your goals out there, your dreams, your visions, and then I guess the second thing is I would believe like all of you would be, I mean, it's power to change, so it will be ESG focused, sustainability focused.
Right.
A lesson I have learned on that is to have something of value outside of just being environmentally friendly or being sustainable. So your product has to be good, even if you take out the sustainability part of it. It has
Right.
to be good, or your service would have to be good. It has to bring people convenience or joy, even if you take out the sustainability part. Like, it can't be your core value because not everybody cares. That is just
The sad truth.
and
Yes.
after Or like my third mistake I had was it was with money. I ran out of money very, very soon. And so there are a lot of programs that you can apply to, let it be from private owned companies or the government or the school especially. They're very willing to provide support. And so look out for the programs, for the competitions where you can get funds. They're not going to be very huge. They're going to be very minimal. It was 10K, 30K NTD. So that is equivalent to what? 1,000 NTD? I mean, 1,000 US dollar.
Right. Yeah.
That is a very small amount of money, but use that very small amount of money wisely, as in build a smaller version of what you want, what the product you want, and test the market really fast. Because what we did in our group was that we have a review every single week on the different changes, even the sliders of the market. And so use that small amount of money and test the market with the small product that you have. And soon you will be able to find the market fit and cash will come flowing to you. Then you won't have to worry about your funds, the money. But yeah, like these three are the three small advice I would give.
All right. Cool. Yeah, there you go. If you're watching and you have the idea, learn from her because it's working out. So thank you. All right, last chance. Anyone have any questions? If not, you can find Holly everywhere. Just type in Big Tipsy, you'll find it. It's an awesome name and I'll never forget it. So, all right. So next we have our call to action. So our call to action, as I mentioned before, we're trying to, change from paper statements to e-bills. So that's one step. And that you have to do on your own. You have to tell your bank, that you want to do that. In Taiwan, it's very easy. You just, even if you don't speak Chinese, you can just Google Translate. Oh, okay. They will know what you mean. And yeah, it takes 2 minutes. And it doesn't have to be just for, your bank. It can be for your phone. I've done it for my phone, internet, all those things. So just find a way to reduce waste. But from our side, we have a petition that we use to, ask people to sign so that we can show banks that people support this idea and they're more willing to put money into, supporting the idea and helping those families who have energy poverty. So that's that. So Holly, maybe I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, but do you have a call to action for people? Could be anything, just what action would you like people to take? Maybe it's towards Big Tipsy or just towards being a more sustainable person. Do you have anything?
Towards Big Tipsy, definitely to, like our page and to spread the news of what we're doing. But personally, just finish your food. That is just the easiest step you can take, and that, that leads to a really huge change. Even me myself, I can't finish all my food all the time, but share with your friends, share with your mom, have them finish. Right. Yeah, that is a very big change.
Yeah, that's a great one and an easy one to do. Just do it. Yeah, and just bring, if you can't finish it in that moment, I don't know about, I know some of you guys, I bring a Tupperware everywhere I go, or a little pocket thing, and then you keep it for later. Or even more than finish your food is finish your beer. Nothing drives me crazier than I'm at the bar, some people leave and their drink's what are you doing? I want to just take it myself and do it, but
alcohol abuse.
Yes. And also buy this.
Worst comes to worst, have our beer. You're doing something.
Here it is. I got it. I got it in Kaohsiung on Ufu. There's Susaya. I don't know how to say it. The bookstore. But yeah, this is my second one. I haven't drank yet, but the first one was amazing. And yeah, it'll definitely get you tipsy. 8%. It's good. So Holly, where can people buy it right now? So I know we got people from Hualien. Yui is in Taichung. Is it available in Hualien or Taichung physically?
In Taichung, there is a shop. It's a package-free shop that you can go check it out.
Oh, cool! You got a package-free shop. Cool.
Yes, we have the address and all the information on our website. For Hualien, we're trying to reach Hualien. Maybe you can help us find a way, but otherwise, you can also contact me or contact Big Tipsy directly, and we can order it in batch.
Cool. yeah, if it's not available near you, you can just message her online. There is a new unpackaged run volume. Maybe you could try to connect with them. It looks really cool too. Have you been yet, Irene?
No, I've been meaning to, but I haven't.
Okay.
But I know the people, so maybe we
Oh, yeah, you
can.
know? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Communication.
Yes, exactly. So there's a call to action. And yeah, if you want to sign our petition, if you have not already, it's on this QR code. Oops, and where's the chat? Or I will send the link in the chat. So we would love if you could, yeah, sign that. It takes literally 1 minute. And if you could spread the word, like Holly said as well, that would be awesome. Because yeah, we're really trying to help people out and reduce paper waste. So we also have our movement team. So we are, I think everyone here is on the Taiwan team, but we have branched out. You know, it started in Taiwan, but now we're in Thailand, Japan, and most recently Paraguay, one of those. So even if you're not in those countries, but you want to see what they're up to, how they're doing it, every country has its own problems. We had a big discussion about this last week, and so Taiwan, we're focusing on paper waste, energy poverty for now, but the other countries are doing different things. So if that's, if those are countries you might want to go to someday and contribute, you're welcome to reach out to them and see what they're doing. And yeah, hopefully we'll be in even more countries soon. So that's that. And lastly, if people wouldn't mind, we'll take a little group photo. If you want to turn on your camera. If not, that's okay. Tashi, are you awake? Okay. So
I'm here. I just have a quick meeting with Professor at the moment, so I can't
Okay.
really take it.
no, I'm just joking. It's okay. All right. So 3, 2, 1. Cool. All right. Got it. All right. Thank you so much, Holly, for sharing with us today. It's awesome to hear more from you. And thanks everyone for joining. See you around. Don't forget to get tipsy. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.